Welcome back to a fresh episode on Kaleidoscope. Today we have a truly unique couple joining us, Sagar and Swati Kapse. Now here's the fun part. Sagar ji is not just an average IT professional. He's also a Hindu priest. He spends his days navigating servers, debugging software, and his evenings guiding people through rituals, prayers, spiritual advice, and somehow he makes it all look seamless. And through all of this, his wife Swati has been his partner in every sense, supporting him, managing the balance between two very different worlds, and sharing insights from her own perspective on life, faith, and family. In this episode, we'll dive into what it's like to juggle technology and tradition and how their partnership makes it all work.
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ॐ
Namaskar Sagar ji, Namaskar
Namaste,
Swati.
namaste,
A
namaste.
very warm welcome to both of you. Thank you so much for joining today us on Kaleidoscope.
Thank you so much for inviting us. We are glad we are here.
So I know you are Charlotte veterans, but do tell us where are you guys from? India, from Maharashtra, both of you I think. So tell us about yourself.
Okay, I'm from Baramati, and back in India now, I have a younger brother who stays with his wife, family. We moved to Charlotte 20 years back.
It's a long time in Charlotte, 20 years.
Long time, yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, we were in Chicago for a year
Uh-huh.
and then we moved to Charlotte.
Okay.
Since then, we like Charlotte so much that we are here.
And where are you from?
I'm
Sagar ji?
from Satara
Uh-huh.
and very close to Sajjangarh. Everybody must be knowing that
Yes,
place.
yes.
So we are very much influenced by Ramdas Swami.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place.
Beautiful place, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So how did coming to US happen?
So US happened just like most of us come to US on H1B, typical. So I came here through Infosys
Uh-huh.
company back in 2005 in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
And then after 1 year I left the company.
Mhm.
I came here. There was a big bank here called Wachovia. You must have heard the
Wachovia.
name.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
so I joined that bank
Uh-huh.
and since then we are here.
Sagarji, how did the Paurohitya start? You are a priest, you do a lot of pujas here, and you are very famous in Charlotte for that. So how did it all begin?
There's a long story. I'll make it short.
Mhm.
I would say I was destined to do this somehow. I had a lot of interest in doing pujas and all, but it was limited to our own house or say a friend's house.
Uh-huh.
My grandfather was like me. He was very much into doing ritualistic karma kanda, what we call it as. And when I used to go to him for summer vacations, I used to follow him everywhere. So I kind of got into it, liking, but never followed it because of the job and stuff like that. But around 10-12 years back, I met with another great soul,
Okay.
Appa Joshi.
Uh-huh.
He's no more in this world, but he was the one who used to do puja for specifically for Maharashtrian people here.
Uh-huh.
You find priests from South India as well as North India, but not from Marathi.
Mhm.
So I used to go to Shubhangiji's temple, Shubhangiji's Sai Baba temple on the
Okay.
Providence Road. The temple is also no more there,
Okay.
but we used to do Rudram there every day,
Mhm.
every week. And Appaji and I met there. He kind of said, do this as a service.
Okay.
Not only service to God, but service to society.
Okay.
And that's what got me in, because I had this spark somewhere and he just kind of ignited it. And he's the one who introduced me, you can say, to Charlotte community, because he used to do Ganesh Thapana in Hindu Center. And that year he introduced me as a priest for Ganesh Thapana.
Mhm.
And since then, whoever come to him for puja, he would send to me if he cannot do it. And that's how it started.
So did you start only in Marathi first?
Mm.
And I know Charlotte population is very diverse.
Mm.
So do you conduct pujas in all different languages now?
Mm.
And what all type of pujas do you perform?
Puja itself is not in any specific language. It's basically in Sanskrit. When you speak to the host, that's when the language comes in picture really. Because the mantras are all in Sanskrit.
Mhm.
So initially it started with Marathi. Even today, most of the Marathi families, probably I will say 90% are Marathi, where I go to do puja. But now it has expanded to a lot of other families, like North Indian. There are some South Indian families too.
Uh-huh.
And so the only difference is when I communicate with them,
Okay.
which will be basically in English for non-Marathi families. And for Marathi families, it will be in Marathi, of course.
And even for kids, I think for them to understand nowadays, parents prefer that if you are explaining something, do explain it
In
to
English.
kids in
yes.
English, right? So
Yeah.
I think it's mix of all languages for
Right,
you.
mix of all languages.
In fact,
better.
he makes sure that all his pujas he has already written also in English, made sure that he has that with him, so
Okay.
that if necessary he can, preferably to the younger kids, he can
Yes,
explain it in
yes.
English. So.
So Sagarji, what all different pujas do you conduct?
Yeah, so basically Satyanarayana, very
Mhm.
common puja,
Mhm.
and then a lot of people make big houses here. So
Yes.
Gೃಹ Pravesh, Vastu Shanti, and then very specific pujas like Upanayan, like
Mhm.
Maunje, or marriages also I have performed.
Okay.
Then you can think of it as all the 16 samskaras that we do.
Okay.
The famous samskaras, for example, Namakaran is a famous samskar,
Mhm.
then Upanayan is a famous samskar, and then marriage, of course, Vivaha. And I have kept myself away from doing the last rites, Anteshti,
Uh-huh.
for a reason, but other than that, I do Shraddha,
Mhm.
which is 1 year Shraddha, or these 13 days of, pujas that we do, Pindadan and all that. So,
Mhm.
and apart from that, of course, Rudram, and a lot of people come up with new pujas. We want to do this specific puja, and then it could be that I already know, or it could be something which I don't know. Then I tell them, okay, I'll learn first, and then I'll come to you, and they're okay with it. So
Okay.
that's very nice.
So Sagarji, tell me now Marathi pujas, you're saying North Indian pujas, are the rituals and are the verses, I mean, are they similar? Or did you have to learn new things?
Well, in terms of ritual, most of them are same.
Mhm.
Okay, right? Puja rituals are same.
Okay.
There's no difference. What differs is, in some tradition, in a specific ritual, you do it with a little twist. In Marathi, you may do Kula Devata Puja, for example. And then Ganesha, you will do with a supari.
Okay.
In Telugu, you may do with turmeric Ganpati.
Oh,
So
okay.
those kind of small differences are here and there. In fact, recently we were doing engagement ceremony. I was doing an engagement ceremony
Oh, wow.
where the bride side people were Marathi
Uh-huh.
and groom side people were Telugu.
Uh-huh.
And most of the rituals we were doing in our engagement, actually there is no ring exchange. Okay, that is
Okay.
Western concept.
Oh, really?
In R1 there is no ring exchange as such. Okay, and even if ring is given, it is given by parents or the representative of the parents to the girl, or representative of her boy's parents to the.
Oh.
So this is Western concept of engaging the ring. So when I was telling it, the ritual on the Telugu side was slightly different, and ritual on Marathi side was slightly different. But they were very nice. They said, no, we respect all the regional stuff, and
Uh-huh.
we are learning something new. So adding to that, even inter-religious marriages, for
Mhm.
example, now we have come here in a different country, so there are a lot
Yes.
of people who do not look like you. So I have conducted a couple of marriages where the bride was Indian, or the
Uh-huh.
groom was Indian, and the other side was a Christian or
Oh, okay.
Muslim
Oh.
for that matter. So when what I found was the other counterpart was much more interested and very respectful of the rituals that we do. In fact, I would say more attentive than
Our party.
because they are our people, like they know it,
Know it,
right?
yeah.
But the others were trying to learn the stuff, and they were asking more questions. Why do you do this? Why do you do that? And that gives me more pleasure, because explaining this is the real pleasure I get
Yes.
out of it.
Yes. Being a priest in US.
Hmm.
So do tell us, what is the process?
Let me tell you one thing, that I'm not priest by profession.
Yes.
First thing, right? So that is different thing than doing this as a hobby or as a service.
Yes.
And that's what I do, because I have my day job. So I do this only on the weekends. And if you want to become a real proper official priest in US, you have to come on a religious visa here.
Okay.
So that is, I think, R1, R2, like that kind of visa. I don't have a lot of details on that, but what I know is you have to have worked only for non-profit organizations before in Bharat.
Okay.
Or you can have a degree, like a Vedic degree from a Vedic school in India, that you can become a priest here. Hindu Center, when they bring the priests here from India, they do sponsor these visas,
Okay.
I believe, as a religious priest, right? And once you are on that R1 visa, you're not supposed to do any other job. You're supposed to work for a non-profit organization only.
Okay.
Now, what difference does it make, right? Being an official priest versus, of course, that is his, it's an official priest, that's the only way he's earning money. But for me, I have another source of earning money, of course. The other thing is, especially in US, you can do religious marriage. You don't have to do court marriage, right? You can do religious marriage. So for religious marriage, a religious authorized priest can sign that, I authorize being done Hindu marriage or a Christian marriage or something like that. So when you do that, you have to have the license to sign on that. Now, when I do conduct marriage, I make sure they know this. The people who are getting me for their conducting their marriage, I make sure they do the court marriage first. And once they do the court marriage, this is more from for their own benefit to do Vedic marriage or.
So you just do the religious part of it. You
Religious
don't
part of
actually officiate
Correct.
the marriage.
Correct.
That requires license.
That requires a license, yes.
So you work with the temple here, or you are working privately?
Every year for Ganesh Puja, I do volunteer there as a priest, only on that day.
Okay.
Actually 2 days. One is on the Ganapati, Sthapana day, and one on the last day, the Visarjan day.
Visarjan.
Yeah, that's when I go. But otherwise, it's more in a private setting.
So Sagarji, tell us, in today's busy schedule, everybody is running. So what kind of simple puja can everybody do? And what are the basic mantras or shlokas which even as adults, us and kids should recite?
In Hindu culture, everything is with devotion. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself said, if you give me just patram pushpam, means a flower or just a petal, leaf, with devotion, I will accept it. Oppose that to, you do a patram pushpam of golden, then, but if there is no devotion, then there is no use. And I'll like to quote something from Marathi, Devachiya dari ubha kshana bhari. So, in front of God, you stand one kshana, means 1 second.
1 second.
That's it. But that second is not really literally meaning second, but with full devotion.
Yes.
Now, you asked in busy schedule how one can do it.
Yes.
In the morning, after taking bath, spend 5 minutes wherever your devara is. If there is a murti, very, very good. If there is a photo, very good. If nothing is there, is not accessible, you are traveling or something. It's okay to be just, close your eyes and bring that murti in front of you. 5 minutes. And do a mantra of your Ishta Devata. What is Ishta Devata? Is something which you believe as your main Devata. For example, some people believe in Vishnu. Some people believe in Shiva. Some people believe in Devi. Some people believe in Hanuman. So, any Devata mantra if you say it in your mind with full devotion, that's good enough. When you are at home in the morning, I would say to keep the culture alive, make sure you light a lamp in front of Devara. Do an incense stick, that's good enough, right? And do a namaskar with full devotion again. If you are able to do elaborate puja, very good. But pay attention to devotion. Just doing elaborate puja doesn't mean anything. You have to have devotion. So that's my stress point. The devotion is very important.
Yeah, and also for the kids, you asked, right? So once they see you doing that, they will automatically follow you because you are the role model. For us also, we make sure we ask our kids that first of all they need to take bath before they go to school, and while after the bath they will at least stand for 30 seconds in front of the god. If they are able to have time, they can put the incense stick. Otherwise, just stand there, do a namaskar, and then start their day. That's what we have been practicing, and that's how we do it, and they have followed. So be the role model. That's what I would say. Yeah, that is important.
And what all basic mantras or shlokas would you suggest?
So if your Ishta Devata is Ganapati, just say Vakratunda Mahakaya. If you know the Atharva Shirsha, it takes about 5 minutes to say Atharva Shirsha. Say Atharva Shirsha by sitting there. Or Vakratunda Mahakaya, you can say that mantra. If you are a Vishnu Bhakta, say Shuklambaradharam Vishnu. Or just say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, right? Om Namo Narayanaya.
Okay.
If you are a Shiva Bhakta, just say Om Namah Shivaya, Hara Hara Mahadeva. If you are a Devi Bhakta, or if you are done your Upanayan and you have been initiated in Gayatri Mantra, I would strongly recommend to at least go out, if not go out, if it's very cold out, after the bath, and give little bit of water to Sun Devata or the Surya Devata. We have nothing else to give other than just water. That water is also given by him. Yes. So all we are offering is just saying thank you for giving all this. So just simply offering this little bit of water to Surya Devata, that should be good enough.
So Sagarji, regarding all pujas and rituals, are there any questions people normally ask you?
Like frequently asked questions.
Frequently asked questions.
Yes. A lot of people ask a lot of questions, but I would say most common question that comes is, we have a new house, we have this Devaghar, where should we keep it? Okay. Tell me, right? I would say the most important thing in keeping the Devara is, of course the direction is important, but it should be at a place where there is less traffic.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Why less traffic? Because you are supposed to spend your solo time with God when you sit in front of it, right? You don't want a lot of disturbances around, right? So you're supposed to sit close to God. Then you want to make this place by sitting there every day. You're chanting some mantras every day. You want to make that place with high energy. That energy you don't want to get into any place. So make that place should be very sanctified place, right? What I mean is, it should have its own place in the house. Now, about the directions, it is recommended in Vastu Shastra. I'm not a Vastu Shastra expert, but I have read this, that northeast side is the best to keep Devara. Northeast side of the house. If northeast side of the house you don't have place, then whichever room you keep in that room you can keep it on the northeast side. If that is also inconvenient, try to keep it facing east and west as much as possible. So either you face Devara through east or you face west, it doesn't matter, right? But try to do that. If that is also not possible, try to make Devara face north side at least. Okay? So at least that. So if I cannot do that, there is an option. Yes, you can do this. Right? Not that gods are going to be unhappy with you, because as long as there is a faith, there should not be any fear.
And generally for the house also, we generally prefer east-west direction or the northeast direction. That is recommended. So that also you can keep in mind when you're looking for a house. That is what I recommend.
One more thing actually comes to my mind is, a lot of people ask, we get so many murtis as gift. So many photos, lot of Ganapatis as gift. What should we do with this? So there is no mandation of keeping them in the Devara.
Okay.
In fact, make it minimalistic devara. So keep only those murtis which you can really take care of them, which you can really take care. Even if you can do it once in a week, that's fine. If you give them bath daily, that's wonderful. But if you can give them bath once in a week, that's okay too. But only keep murtis which you can manage.
Okay.
What I mean by that is with devotion.
Okay.
You have to have very calm mind, and with very much joy, with full devotion, you should do the puja. Now, if you can do for one murti, that's good enough.
Okay.
That's one murti is good enough.
So, Sagarji, as parents, what do you think we should do to keep our kids, our next generation, more interested in our culture, our religion, without getting the feeling that we are forcing them to do it? What should we do?
Yeah, it's a very good question and very tough to answer too. But I like to say this is general parenting, okay? It's not specific to puja, but in one of the shlokas in our culture, it is said that until the shishu, the kids are shishu means until they go to school.
Okay.
Give them full love. You are the only role model for them. Make the best role model for them. From starting to go to school, say elementary school, to approximate middle school, that's the time when you as a parent should discipline the child. After that, you should behave with them like friends. Should advise them like a friend. And this has been a generic advice given to all the parents. Now, coming back to how do you make sure the culture is followed. So there are a lot of organizations which will help you. You may have heard about Hindu Swayamsevak Sangha.
Yes.
Right, so that's one organization. It's a shakha, right? So you take, they run a program called Balagokulam, and she can explain more about Balagokulam because she has been teaching Balagokulam.
Yeah, Swati, you are very active in Shakha and
Yes.
Om School as
Home
well,
school,
right?
yeah. So in Shakha, it's basically for bringing our kids more near to our culture, expose them to culture, and that is what we do. So we have a very nice curriculum for them where we go through teaching them the shlokas, our day-to-day activities, how to be proud of your culture, where we come from, and how rich it is. So that is how we do it. And through that HSS, we have started a very nice organization of Om School, where our aim is to offer this thing to the preschool kids. So, like the preschool you go to the church school, we are offering it as Om School, where kids aged from 3 to 5, we are having a day, like a half day daycare kind of a thing, and there we teach them our culture as well as we get them ready for the public school. So, so being with the kids is really very fun. You have so many nice experiences. So that's how we have a lot of help. And a lot of parents are eager to enroll kids in this kind of program. So we're glad about that. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. And not only Shakha or Om School.
Yeah.
A lot of other organizations, BAPS for example, they run their own school. ISKCON, they run their own school. You can take Swadhyay, is another Swadhyay Parivar. That's another one. So I have seen the kids, Crop is another one which Hindu Center runs, right? I have seen the kids who have gone to these programs as a kid, and when they grow up, they are very different kids. They're very different youth. They are perfect blend of culture, Western culture and Eastern culture, or our culture.
Wow.
And
So
not to
that's-
go far, it's in our own house, our kids too. We see that because of the Bal Gokulam thing they followed from age, they were in 5th grade from there, my son and my daughter both. So we have seen how he has grown into a person who is a real good blend of both sides, So we are happy, like we are not just telling it, preaching it, but we have already have those 2 kids in our house who are an example for how we can bring them near to our culture through this all program. So definitely for the Indian parents, these support system are a blessing in disguise, I will say.
And all these are in Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
They run their program. There is a Chinmaya Mission, Bal Gokulam runs to Bal Bihar,
yes.
that runs too. They may have slightly different orientation. Some may be more religious, some may be more spiritual, some may be more of a Sarvangin Vikas or personality development. But that doesn't matter. I mean, as long as they get close to their
goal is
culture,
the same,
goal is the same, to make them proud of both the cultures, not only one culture. Yeah.
You just said some are more spiritual and some are more religious. So I don't know if this is super deep, but what is the difference between being religious and being spiritual?
Being religious is mostly following your karma kanda, like you mentioned, pujas, doing pujas and all that. Being spiritual means understanding what you are doing and implementing it in your own life. Okay. So if you say a mantra, first step is to learn the mantra properly, say it properly. Once you start saying it properly, you understand the meaning of the mantra, just the word meaning of the mantra. Once you understand the word meaning of the mantra, you try to understand the deeper meaning behind the mantra. And this is how you spiritually progress.
Okay.
So when you start understanding the deeper meaning of the mantra, when you say the mantra, automatically your devotion will come. So that's how you become spiritual. So being spiritual doesn't mean not being religious, or being religious doesn't mean not being spiritual. They go hand in hand. But ultimately, from being religious, you have to progress towards being a spiritual, understanding what you are doing. That is the most important step.
So, Sagarji, Swati, apart from conducting pujas, do you both follow any classes, or do you both conduct any classes for different groups?
Yeah, definitely. And I would like to mention that our Puja Gurudev, Sheshadri Guruji, he is my spiritual guru. And just shortly about him, I met him in Charlotte.
Yes.
I met him in Charlotte actually.
Okay.
His daughter lives in Charlotte.
Okay.
And I met him about 10 years back. Sheshadri Guruji is a direct disciple of Chinmaya Swami, if you know Chinmaya Mission.
Yes.
And he is trained under, on a eastern side, it's Chinmaya Swami. On western side, he is worked with Carnegie Mellon. So he is a management guru.
Okay.
And he has included spirituality into Western management, and he has made blend of this. So
Wow.
he basically teaches the C-level people. He takes workshops for C-level people and all. So for us, he's just a Guruji. For us, he's just a Guruji. And we have been with him for almost 10 years, 12 years now. Almost 12 years. And we meet once in a week. Now online, or when he comes to Charlotte, we meet in person. But otherwise online, once in a week. And we go through different scriptures. And our study follows the Chinmaya Mission study group method, where everybody prepares and comes and we discuss. So we have gone through Bhagavad Gita, we have gone to multiple Upanishads, many other Smriti Granthas, Shruti Granthas. And because that has come to us from our Guru, we have to pass it on. So, which means we have to also start doing this. So, I also conduct Bhagavad Gita class on the weekends. This is also for study group format again. Whoever comes, they have to prepare and come. Along with that, for kids, I conduct chanting classes.
Oh, wow.
Right now we are taking Ram Raksha. Just yesterday was Ram Navami, so Ram Raksha classes are going on. Every Ganapati festival, I conduct a crash course of 20 days on Atharva Shirsha. And kids, you won't believe, who cannot even say Gang Ganapataye Namaha, they chant the entire Atharva Shirsha in 20 days. And this is the effect of group reading, group preparation. And every year we do that. They chant in front of the Ganapati. So that keeps on going. And then there are some chanting classes for adults too.
Swati had said that you also take yoga classes. Tell us about it.
It's very interesting. Actually, I have done yoga course, certified yoga teacher. And through our HSS, we conduct Surya Namaskar Yogathon every year in January for 2 weeks. And through that, we reach the CMS schools. So in the elementary schools, me and some of my sevikas, we will go there and we will demonstrate Surya Namaskar for 2 weeks in school. And let me tell you, all the PE teachers are so eager to have us, and they do it for the whole year. They learn from us and they conduct those Surya Namaskar, and they're very appreciative. They look forward for us to come every year in January. Another thing which we do is through HSS again.
Okay.
We approach the CMS. We conduct Guru Vandana, where
Oh.
yeah. So that is one thing where we invite all the CMS teacher. Like if I have a kid, I will ask my kid to invite his or her favorite teacher, and we will call them during the appreciation month, all of the teachers, and we will actually do Guru Vandana, like how we do back in India. We will ask the kids to do, put them tilak, do the arti, then touch their feet, do the namaskaram, and then we'll give them gift, and then we'll arrange nice food for them. And this is how we make show respect to the teacher, and they have such an overwhelming experience.
They like it.
They really enjoy it, and that's really a memorable moment for them. So
And for the kids too.
Kids too, yeah. Our kids start to feel that pride, or they become comfortable, right, where they are come from.
Yes.
So that is another very good impact of all this thing, connecting with the teacher, because when a kid is in elementary, the most thing for the kid is their school and their teacher.
Yes.
So once they get recognition there, kids like feel at home, and they also feel proud of where they come from. So that is a way, I mean, it's a win-win for everyone. So that's how we try to connect.
Swati, Sagarji, coming to the end of our program, what message would you like to give our viewers today?
First of all, thank you, Gauri, for giving us this opportunity to express ourselves on your show. From my side, I would like to urge our parents, the parents who have come back from India and who are having kids, make sure you raise your kids as they're proud of their culture. That is the biggest responsibility you have here. We ultimately they'll be an American, but we need to have that culture where we come from. That essence has to be there. That has to pass on to the next generation, and mom and dad both have that responsibility to make sure, so you don't forget where you came from. We have come from a very rich, vibrant culture. So I will really urge them to keep it alive.
Very nice. Sagarji?
Yeah, so the message that I want to give everybody, it's not only specific to specific group of culture people or culture from here. It's general humanity message. See, we have taken birth as a human, and this is considered to be the crown of all the births, which means we have been given not only mind but also intellect. And the only reason we have taken birth is we spiritually progress in this birth. Everybody is busy in doing yoga kshema. What is yoga kshema? Yoga means whatever you don't have, you try to earn. Apraptasya praptam yoga. And kshema is praptasya rakshanam. Whatever you have, you maintain it. Right? So most of the people in their adulthood spend their life in yoga kshema, acquiring new things and maintaining to the old things. In that, your spiritual progress takes back. So what you want to do is, you want to get spiritually advanced, and that's what is going to take you long, and that's what is going to give you the real liberation. I'm not saying yoga kshema is wrong. You should earn, you should maintain, you should have good lifestyle, but don't forget that you have to spiritually advance. If you are born at this spiritual level, make sure by the time you go from this world, you are at this spiritual level and not down. So that's my message.
Yeah, and spirituality doesn't mean you have to leave your house, your kids, your responsibilities, and go in jungle. Staying in this life, you can advance yourself spiritually. So
just like a lotus flower.
Yes.
Lotus flower stays in the mud, doesn't get stained by the mud. That's how your life should be.
So beautifully said by both of you. For ending our program today, I would request you both to recite a beautiful mantra or shlok for all of us.
Yeah, so we have this tradition of saying Shanti Mantra at the end of any small program. So we'll do it together. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Swati, Sagarji, thank you so much for coming on our program today. And from all our viewers, from me, Amol, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.